Have you ever wondered how JavaScript handles numbers? Whether it's doing a simple math or performing complex calculation. Let's unlock the secrets of numbers and number methods in JavaScript and see how they can power up your code. Hey there coding enthusiast, welcome back to the JavaScript from Zero to Hero course. In this today's video, we are going to see numbers and number method in JavaScript. Numbers are a fundamental part of programming and JavaScript offers some powerful methods to work with them. I'll show you how to use these methods in Visual Studio Code. So without wasting any time, let's get started. So first, let's open Visual Studio Code. And now here, I am going to create a new file named numbers.js. In JavaScript, a number is a numeric value. JavaScript handles integers, floating point numbers, and even special values like none and infinity. So let's start with a basic example. So first, here I am going to declare two variables. First is num1 and setting the value to 42. Then the second variable is num2 with a value 3.14. Now let's console log this variable. So console.log num1. Now I'm copying this statement using shift alt plus down arrow, then num2. Now save this file and then run the code. So I'm clicking on this play icon to run the code. Yeah, so in the terminal you can see the value got printed 42 and 3.14. JavaScript provides several useful methods to work with numbers. Let's go through some of the most common ones. So the first in the list is toFixed. So here, let's add a comment of toFixed and it will take digits. So this method is used to format a number using fixed point notation, and the digits specifies the number of decimal places. So suppose this num2 contain like 3.1452 and then some more value. But I want only two decimal values after the point, then I can use toFixed method. So let's see. So console.log, then num2, and after this I can call that method. So dot toFixed, and I can pass like I only want two values after the point, so I'll type here 2. Now let's run the code. So next in the list is toPrecision method. So this method is used to format a number to a specified length. So let's see an example. First, let's comment the above statement. And now I am going to declare a new variable, let large number with a value 6, then 789. Now after this, I am adding a console.log statement, console.log, then large number dot toPrecision, and then passing the length that I want. Now let's run the code again. Yeah, so in the terminal you can see we got 6 digit with a roundup value. So you'll notice that after the point we have some value and it's rounded the value to this. So that's why the 7 is present after 5. Next in the list is parseInt method. So this method is used to convert a string into an integer. So let's see an example. So I am commenting this console.log statement and then creating a new variable named n and then setting the value to 5467. Now let's say we want to make it an integer. So we can use parseInt method to convert it. So let's add a console.log statement here. And now let's call the function parseInt and then pass that string to it. So here I am passing n Now let's run the code. So here you can see the string got converted to an integer. To confirm it, let's check the type. So type of n, and now let's run the code again. So you can see it's a number. We have parseFloat method which converts a string into a floating point number. So let's see that. We declare a new variable float. It's a string, so let's say 552.36, and now I want to convert it into a floating point number, so I can convert it using parseFloat method. So console.log, then parseFloat, and pass that string to it, float, and let's run the code. So here you can see we have successfully converted that string to a floating point number. Next we have isInteger. So isInteger method is used to check if a value is an invalid integer or not. So let's see an example. So here I am adding a console.log statement, and then number.isInteger. After that, let's check like 10, and let's add one more statement. So console.log number.isInteger and 12.5. Now let's run the code again. So here you can see we got two boolean values here. So the first one is true because the 10 is a valid integer, and the second one is a floating point number, so that's why we got the false value. Now let's see the next method, but first let's comment these statements. Next in the list is Math.round function. So Math.round function is used to round a number to the nearest integer. So let's see an example. So suppose here I have a variable like num with a value 5.17, and let's add a console.log statement math.round and pass the num variable to it. So after this, let's run the code, and here you can see I got the value to 4. So it round up the number to the nearest integer. So in this case 4 is the nearest integer, and if I change the value to like 5.4.9, then 5 will be the nearest integer. Okay, so here you can see we got the value 5. Next in the list is math.floor. So math.floor is used to round a number down to the nearest integer. Let's take an example. Console.log and then math.floor, and if I pass the num variable to it, so it will make it 4. So it will take the lower integer value. Next we have math.seal. So it's opposite to math.floor. So math.floor rounds a number down to the nearest integer, but math.seal rounds up a number up to the nearest integer. So let's see an example. Console.log, and if I type here math.seal and then pass the num variable to it, so it will make it 5. So here you can see 5 got printed. And the last method is math.random. So this method is used to generate a number between 0 and 1. So let's see an example. So if I console.log math.random, and now let's run the code. So in the terminal you can see I got a random value between 0 and 1, and we can also get bigger value. We just need to multiply it. So if I multiply it by 20, and now let's run the code. So here you can see I got the value. So now I will get a value between 0 to 20. And if you don't want the floating point number, then you can use math dot floor method here. So math.floor. Now let's run the code again. Yeah, so here you can see every time when I run the code, so I will get a random value between 0 to 20. So this is how math.random method works. So that's it for today's video. These methods are essential for performing calculations and manipulating numeric data in your programs. So experiment with them to see how they can simplify your coding tasks. I hope you found this video helpful. If you want the source code, then please do check out in the description. I'll attach a link over there. This video is a part of a JavaScript from Zero to Hero course. So please do check out our playlist. Like this video, share it with your friends. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, click the subscribe button and also press the bell icon. I'll see you in the next video. Happy coding, everyone.